Welcome back to the Career Dive podcast. I'm your host, Anna Beleva, a career coach and LinkedIn learning instructor. Today, we're talking about making job searching fun. Now, if you are someone who dreads job searching, pushes it off, even though you are unhappy where you're at, maybe you're someone who keeps saying that job searching sucks, this episode is for you. I believe that job searching should and can be fun. And that was my experience job searching. And that's also my students' experience job searching. For example, my student Kamshat, who works in trade control in Belgium, posted in our LinkedIn group that is private just for my students yesterday. And she said that she just started 2 days ago and she already had one meeting with her target company and she has another one coming up just in 2 days. And the biggest shift that she mentioned is that now job searching feels fun for her. Now, trust me when I say it, I get it. I am no stranger to job searching when there is pressure. In fact, 3 times in my life, I job searched when I was unemployed. The first time was when I moved abroad. I moved to Canada. I had no job. I needed a visa and I had no financial support and no savings. Second time was when I moved from Vancouver to Toronto. So I moved across the country. I left my job in Vancouver and I started fresh in Toronto. And a third time was when I had to leave a toxic boss. I just couldn't do it anymore. So I just walked away from that job so that I could recoup, rest, recover, and start job searching fresh. Now, some of you probably know my story. I have lived abroad my entire career, and the only person I could rely on was myself. I had no financial support from my family. I was single every single time I was making those big moves. And I didn't have an option of, let's say, moving back with my parents if things don't work out. And let's say I can't pay for my apartment. So I get it. I know what it's like to job search when there is pressure. But recently I've been reflecting on my career and my job search experience. And while at times I felt frustrated, at times I did feel stressed. Job searching felt fun and I actually enjoyed it. And when I think about it, I believe that's why I'm making moves in my career. So, whether that's moving countries, cities, industries, leaving a toxic job without a plan, that's why it didn't feel as scary. And that's why I made those big, bold moves because the idea of looking for a new opportunity was not daunting, but rather it made me excited for what's possible and for what's next. And that's what I want for you as well. In this episode, we'll talk about why, for most job seekers, job searching feels unenjoyable, how to reframe it so it feels fun, and exactly how to go about making it fun. Let's dive into this episode. So, first, let's talk about why job searching feels unenjoyable really for most people. Number one is the fear of rejection. So many people associate job search with that pain of rejection, which often feels personal, even though realistically it often is not. Next is uncertainty and anxiety. And it's all the unknown because you don't really know how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen. And that creates a lot of stress and takes away from that excitement of possibility. Then it's the fact that job search is often a time consuming process. For a lot of people, job search looks like editing your resume, applying, submitting applications, clicking on easy apply, waiting, and going through that over and over and over again. Then you land an interview, then you stop job search altogether, you focus on that opportunity. Maybe that doesn't work out, and you have lost a month and now it feels like you have to start from scratch. So it feels like it takes forever and it feels like a job in itself. And by the way, if you have been following me for some time, you know that that's not how I approach job search. My approach is very proactive, going after target companies, meeting with people on the inside rather than applying so that you cut the line and job search happens a lot faster. And finally, most of us focus on the outcome, not the journey to that outcome. So most of us focus on getting that offer. So the whole process feels like a grind because you're just working towards that big goal every single day. Now, All of this is completely normal. The stress, the anxiety, the fear of rejection. And realistically, that's how our brains are wired. It is your brain's job to keep you safe and to keep you where you are. Even if you are unhappy, you probably have a roof over your head and you have food on the table. So you are safe. And your brain's job is to keep you there because the second you start to make moves, the second you go for any sort of change, your brain starts to freak out because now we don't know what is going to happen to you. Now, this is a very ancient brain that thought, okay, well, the second you take a path down the road that you're not familiar with, a lion may attack you, which is why your brain will continue to offer you all of those thoughts like, what if I don't get an offer? What if it's going to take forever? What if it's not going to be that good? It feels like a grind, so I shouldn't do it. So your brain wins because then you stay where you are and you don't make moves. So once again, it is your brain's job to keep you safe and keep you where you are rather than to help you get to the next level. So all of those thoughts and stress and anxiety are not necessarily going to go away because that's just nature. But the good news is that you are in control of your thoughts because you are the CEO of your brain and your life. So you can choose different thoughts. Different thoughts that would keep you excited and motivated and would make the whole job search experience and career and life a lot more enjoyable and a lot more fun and a lot easier. So let's talk about reframing job searching as fun. And I have 4 different ways to reframe it for you. Number one is thinking about job search as the beginning of a new chapter because each opportunity that you explore is a possibility of a new adventure, a new life, a new career, a fresh start that aligns more with who you are today. How exciting is that? And that's how I always thought about job search. I thought, I just moved abroad or I just moved to a new city. How fortunate am I? How lucky am I that I have this opportunity to begin with? And wow, this is the beginning of my new life. And sure, maybe you're not someone who is making a geographical move, but just the fact that you're here listening to this podcast, the fact that you're someone who is thinking, I want an opportunity that feels aligned, an opportunity that I actually enjoy. I want an amazing boss. Just the fact that you're in a position to ask yourself these questions is massive. So get excited about what's next. Number two, I like to look at job search as an opportunity to grow and explore because I see job searching as a way to self reflect. Because realistically, most of us are in this go, go, go mode every single day. You get up, you make breakfast, you drop off your kids, you rush to work, you have a busy day, then you pick up your kids, you go to an activity with them, you make dinner, and then you go to sleep and do it all over again. Most of us don't have time to pause, think about where we're at, think about where we're going next, what's working, what's not working, what we're missing. So when you start job searching, that is an opportunity for you to pause and reflect. What is right for me next? What do I want for my next 5 years of my career and life to look like? What kind of career is going to support that type of life that I want? Why do I want a new job? What doesn't feel right now? Or maybe you didn't decide to job search on your own, and let's say you get laid off. Well, yes, it sucks, but it also pushes you again to ask yourself all of those questions that you probably wouldn't have otherwise asked. Number three is job search is a chance to learn, meet new people, and build a network. And sure, some opportunities won't work out, but every single time think, well, it didn't work out, but I met some people on this team. So now in the future, I can always lean back on these connections and still can continue to explore this company. And my students are also very proactive with their networking efforts. So they go out there and they meet people and they always come back and tell me, wow, this is so interesting. I'm learning so much about the functions, the roles, the companies that I didn't know existed. And number four, life is about figuring things out. Think about it this way. There's always the next goal. Once you achieve this goal of a new job, you'll be working on the new thing. Maybe it's meeting your significant other or getting married or a promotion or starting a family. There's always the next thing. And if we're just focusing on this goal, we are just chasing and it doesn't feel good in the moment ever. So every single day you're working towards something, you're figuring something out. So that is not going to change. And this perspective really has helped me to be happier in my life, to really realize how every single challenge that comes up, that's just life and it's fun, and figuring out how to make it better. What's next? It's not necessarily something to stress about and be upset about. "Ah, things always happen to me." No, it's just life. And that's what life is about. And I'm telling you, once you make this shift, that this is what life is about, figuring things out, you will be a lot happier. So now let's talk about how to make job searching fun. And I'm going to share 4 strategies with you. Number 1 is gamify the process. This is how I used to job search, and that's what I always tell my students. For example, if you are networking and you're looking at profiles on LinkedIn, you're sending connection requests, you're following up, you're trying to schedule meetings, it can feel repetitive, it can feel daunting, and it potentially can take some time to start seeing the results of all of those efforts. Now, here's how I used to do it. I would be on someone's profile and I'm like, oh my goodness, this person is so cool. I can't wait to talk to them. And then LinkedIn would offer you on the side, they always say, people who looked at this profile also looked at, and they would offer you a bunch of other profiles. And I would start looking at those and I would get excited again. I'm like, ooh, this person's cool and this person's cool. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And I would just make it a game and I would just get so excited about, again, the possibility of what's there, which leads me to point number 2, and that is to shift your mindset from saying that job searching sucks, from seeing it as a chore, oh, I have to do it, but thinking about it as I get to explore what's out there. I get to look inward, see what I want as my next chapter, and make it happen for myself. I get to do this. There are all of these opportunities. How exciting is this point of my life? Number 3 is to celebrate the small wins. I have talked about this on the podcast already, but it's this idea that we only focus on those big goals and feel like we are not successful until we get there, until we land that offer. So for months, we feel like, I'm not really thriving. But instead, every single week, I can't stress this enough. Look for wins. What have you done? Maybe you've listened to this podcast. Great, that's a win. Maybe you started working on your resume. That's a win. Maybe you looked at a couple of profiles on LinkedIn of people that you want to reach out to. That's a win too. And number 4 is to try a new job search strategy. For a lot of people, job search feels time consuming and daunting and exhausting because the way you job search is this outdated approach. So you're editing your resume, submitting applications, and waiting. And as you know, probably already, I'm all about getting clear on what's right for you, identifying those opportunities, identifying those target companies, getting in front of those employers proactively through networking, showing them that you are a superstar at what you've done before, and lending opportunities that way. And when you shift your strategy, not only the whole process will become a lot more enjoyable because you will feel like you're in control rather than you're waiting and praying and you're in the hands of the ATS gods and the employer's timeline, but you will also see the results a lot faster. So the whole process will feel fun. And if you are someone who is serious about your future, if you're someone who is ready to go all out, land your next opportunity, if you're ready to invest in this next chapter of your life, make it enjoyable and fun, I recommend that you book a call with my team and we chat about your goals, where you're getting stuck on the way to those career goals, and how we can help you get there in the easiest and most efficient way possible. Simply head to thecareerdiet.com/call or use the link in the show notes. So I hope that after listening to this episode, you're feeling a little bit more motivated, a little bit more excited, that you will start focusing on seeing the possibilities, opportunities for what's possible, and you will start noticing those unhelpful thoughts like job searching sucks, I don't want to do this, and instead learning how to reframe that for you so that the whole experience of job searching will feel completely different. And I also hope that you will start embracing the journey rather than really focusing on the goal, because job search is a natural part of your career, a natural part of life, and it really is about learning and exploring and embracing what's next. All right, that's it for this episode. If you have been enjoying listening to the Career Dive podcast, please take a couple of minutes and leave a review on Apple Podcast. That really helps me out. And shoot me a note on Instagram or LinkedIn and let me know what was the biggest takeaway for you from this episode. I love, love, love reading your messages. And if there is a specific topic that you would like for me to dive into, again, shoot me a message and I will try my best to create an episode covering that topic. That's it for today. I will see you in the next episode.